Hey guys, it's Andrew at Symmetry Pilates. So today we're going to start with our basic warm-up exercises. We'll start with the psoas stretch for the crunchy psoas. We'll do a number 4 stretch for your glutes in your lower back, pulling it in. We'll also do a pelvic peel, really trying to stretch out those hips and that spine, curling it down. And we'll also make sure we do some abs and really focusing on all that space of the spine, kind of making sure we know what a balanced spine is and having a neutral balanced pelvis. Okay, let's go. So we'll start with circles. So you'll start with your right leg pulled in, kind of giving yourself that compression, really lengthening down in that left leg, trying to make sure you keep that long space. So we're going to circle for 10 in each direction. So really trying to focus on trying to keep your spine in a long line, and also really paying attention to that stretch that's happening in that right leg. So we'll circle. And some people have crunch in there. You want to just go towards it, but not be too mean about it. Just kind of really acknowledge how tight each hip is. Yeah, so we're going to reverse that circle for 10. Really notice that my left leg is really reaching down this whole time, and it doesn't just kind of start flopping at the knee. So we want to kind of keep that strict space. After we finish this 10, we'll move on. Bloop. To the other side. So really trying to think about reaching down with that right leg as you start the psoas circles on the left. And once again, notice that my extended leg is fully straightened, it's reaching, my foot is flexed just to kind of give it a little extra hip stretch. We'll reverse it. Okay, after this, we're gonna move on to the next part. So let's do a number 4 stretch. So what we're gonna do here is the number 4 stretch, really starting with our right leg plopped over. So what we're gonna do, hip compression. So we're gonna push into the hips, trying to release your lower back. So notice that my whole spine kind of moves, my neck moves, because I'm really just trying to give some stretch to the whole entire spine while we start here. Okay, so interlace your right hand through, hooking it through that left leg. And we're gonna start by flexing the right foot to give that right glute and that lower back some stretch, really still trying to drop our tailbone and keep our spine in a straight line. Yeah, you can see that spine trying to reach long. If you want to make it harder, you can hook through the knee. It gives you a deeper stretch. We just don't want to make sure that that little lower back starts to pop up. So get that stretch as long as you can keep that spine straight. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Pushing, feeling that compression on that left hip. Yeah, notice that neck moving around. That's just fine. Okay, interlace your left hand through. And then flex that left foot. Ding dong. And then extend that spine long. Ooh, look at that stretch. If you want to make it more advanced, hook it into there. And still try and keep it from scooping up. No, drop it down. We'll bring it down. So we're going to do pelvic rocks. So we want to think about our spine being nice in a long line. And we're going to do pelvic rocks for 20. We're only going to do 10 here for time's sake, but I want you to think about keeping your hips parallel, knee, foot, and hip all rocking together in a parallel line. Think about scooping with your pelvic floor, not just using your hip flexors for this movement. And notice that my neck is still long, my arms are still reaching long, and that my feet are firmly planted on the ground. That's going to help you be able to contract easier into those hips. Okay, off we go. Now we're gonna go into a pelvic peel. So I want you guys to think about keeping that parallel space, keeping your arms planted, and still thinking about pushing straight up towards the sky. Notice that parallel line, trying to keep those knees and hips as you curl through parallel. Yeah. Trying to keep that space, dropping it all the way down. Okay, arms are planted to the ground, pushing your hips towards the sky, not overextending your rib cage, curling through bone by bone, meaning trying to get each vertebrae to hit doot, 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 all the way down to your tailbone, pushing it up, getting that squeeze at the top, contracting from your abs. You'll see deep in my rib cage trying to curl as you drop that tailbone down. That's using your abdomen to help you articulate your spine muscle. Good. Still trying to reach those toes, keep the feet planted. Good. And one thing I see is a lot of rib cage pop up. So you want to think really pushing with these legs. So it's not pushing from the mid-back, it's pushing from those legs to where you can contract with your abs better and stabilize with your arms better, okay? So we're pushing through, really still trying to keep those feet planted, those arms planted as we articulate through that spine. Great. Notice my nose and my chin never really move that much, so that means that I'm kind of keeping my spine straight. Okay, now we're gonna move on to some abs. So we wanna think about really keeping the balanced spine. So we think cervical, thoracic, and lumbar space. Yeah, you can see that rib cage, your thoracic, having a little space in that lumbar, little mouse house. And we're gonna keep our legs close together, okay? And we wanna think about a balanced pelvis. So you're gonna round your shoulders. I want you to think about exhaling as you extend up and inhaling as you come down. So exhale as you come up, inhale as you come down, keeping that balanced spine and pelvis. So we start, exhale as you come up, keeping your tailbone reaching towards your feet. Those hips are going to start trying to work again. So we want to make sure that we turn the hip flexors off, that we're really trying to contract in our pelvic floor, that deep pelvic space, and keeping that tailbone reaching long. Good. So now after this, let's lotus it just to finish it off. Take a little stretch, and we're done. Good job, everybody. Talk to you soon.